Good evening, friends. Welcome to tonight's session. We have Shekhar back with us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Minaji. Nice to be back.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. And let's start with the first piece of news, Shekhar. Now, Modi seems to have taken a proactive approach with regards to China. When they renamed Arunachal Pradesh villages with Chinese names, we are going to restore the original names of the places in Tibet. Moreover, US Congress delegation is in India meeting the Dalai Lama. Can you tell us what is going on, sir?
Well, as usual, you are seeing a lot of pressures being applied, blow hot, blow cold of thing going on in the Indo-US relation. You have an investigation going on into alleged attempt to kill a Khalistani activist, for which a person has been extradited um, from the Czech Republic, and then he's being seen as some undercover Indian agent who had ordered the killing, or he was told uh, to to remove that Khalistani activist from the scene.
Yes,
Since then, you have seen. I mean, started with Canada blaming India for some killings in Canada, then followed by this. I mean, this kind of pressure keeps coming, but they also realize the importance of the importance of China, and how India is the only country in this region which can stand up to China, has that kind of size and that kind of inherent potential to
yes,
face the aggression by China. But then now and then these irritants keep coming, and also we saw that Americans have now been forced to accept the reality of this mandate of 2024. I mean, they were also taken by the reports that were coming in. Perhaps Modi may not come back as PM, and beginning from the report that nobody else but Modi who can come become prime minister again, to the last stages of election when there were doubts, but now they have to accept the mandate, just as opposition has to accept this mandate. That the parliament arithmetic is such, the new parliament's arithmetic, you can't have a government without the BJP. And because they have got 240 seats, and along with the NDA, they have got 295, more than the required halfway mark. And on the other hand, your UPA alliance or the India alliance, opposition alliance, they don't have that number. Even if TDP or JDU were to leave and join them, they would still be short by 20-25 seats. So you can see, I mean, for a comfortable working majority. So therefore, this is a situation they have accepted. But these irritants keep coming, so you can see that trying to test us. But then everybody realizes no point in weakening the government in Delhi or weakening India. I mean, that is not the correct course for them, because they know the consequences of weakening that kind of thing. So this is going to be a difficult period for Prime Minister Modi, because first thing, he has to settle down to the meeting the local issues. His government is working on a 100-day plan, some major announcements on which ministries are at work. You will see the budget will be presented by next month, and where some of these projects, allocations for them, the new ideas will be reflected. There are so many things happening. So one will have to wait and see, but at the same time, you're going to have a very aggressive opposition. Parliament session is beginning. The first session of this new parliament will begin from June 26th. The first real test of strength is the speaker's election. In all probability, it may be Om Birla again as the speaker, because BJP is not ready to give up the speaker's posts. And that is one. And number two, maybe the deputy speakers can go to one of the allies. Most probably it will be TDP in the Lok Sabha, since JDU already has the deputy chairmanship in the Rajya Sabha. The Harvansh, who is the deputy chairman, belongs to JDU. So that's a kind of seed. And Rahul Gandhi is fully charged, because they are so happy with their figures going up from just 50 to somewhere 99, but not even crossing 100. But they are in great mood and they want to be aggressive. They feel this is the way they can work for next 5 years.
okay. Now, apparently yesterday, PM Modi inaugurated the new Nalanda University campus in Bihar, and he's planted a sapling there. Now, ambassadors of 17 nations, along with External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, also attended the inauguration in Rajgir. Do you think this is a very promising move because universities like this will make a lot of effect in India, opening of such universities?
Yes, because this is you see this is Nalanda is a place which has a fantastic history and a tragic history also. It was a great center of learning, but then it came under the hammer of the invaders, where several books were burned down. It was supposed to have had one of the best libraries at one time,
Yes.
and it has seen ravages of time and invasion. And so, therefore, resurrecting that university is a long project which has been on for a long time. Now, the new building has been inaugurated by the Prime Minister today. It's a milestone. At the same time, it will attract international scholars, particularly those who are interested in various Indic studies, including Buddhist studies. So, it's a very important project where basically you are looking at projects that will restore the cultural heritage of this country. That
Yeah.
brings back the memories of a period which communist thing never existed, but many people know that there was a moment that we should call our own, a proud heritage moment.
Yeah.
Minaji.
Yeah. And moving on to the farmers issue. Now, praising Modi for having finally made farmers a priority for government, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Tuesday said Annadata Kisan has become a crucial part of the country's political agenda. Now, this seems to be a very big move from their side. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, sir?
No, Minaji, this Kisan Nidhi Yojana was already there, and this is a payment was due now 20,000 crores. I mean, transferred directly to the bank accounts of farmers. This is ahead of the farming season because it comes in two installments where that money is useful for them to buy some implements and all that. So it is given pre-harvest, I mean pre-sowing season and also post-harvest season. So this money is directly paid to the farmers. Now, obviously, this time you saw the kind of narrative that opposition sought to impose, basically saying that the Modi government was not at all concerned about the poor, about the farmers, about marginalized. But Modi government has been working on several plans for some time, and some of them have already yielded result on the ground. And farmers are going to remain top of the priority because a huge population depends, and unorganized labor depends on our agriculture. Such dependency itself is not a good sign. So the attempt to shift a lot of people from agriculture to other trade has been an ongoing exercise. Prime Minister Modi had brought those three farm bills, which was to make to attract investment in agriculture, get private participation. But opposition, created a narrative that this was against the farmers. It will be entry of big companies at the cost of farmers and all kinds of campaign. Finally, yeah, the Khalistani elements also got into it because it threatened the status quo in Punjab, which
Yes.
is the money lenders are also grain merchants, so, and they are also the middlemen. So, and Punjab has not been, producing the best of wheat or best of rice for some time. So, a lot of it goes, I mean, rather is sold through procurement. And these people who are middlemen, money lenders come grain merchants and grain procurers, they somehow fueled an agitation in which all these extremist elements got in, saying that farmers are being exploited. The same narrative we saw when the land acquisition bill was brought the first term. And
Yeah.
because of the sensitive nature of the farmers' agitation and attempts by extremists to exploit the situation in Punjab and in nearby neighboring states, Prime Minister decided to withdraw the bills. But some of the concepts underlined in that bill, I mean, that is something you will have to revisit again because if you want farmers' incomes to go up, you need investment. You need investment. Of course, government is already investing a lot in setting up a chain of agriculture cold storages.
Yeah.
See, basic problem is farmers produce with thinking there will be demand, and then subsidy excess production and the prices fall. And
Yes.
most of these agricultural producers are short lived. They don't have a long shelf value, so you need cold storage system. Last year we saw a number of Kisan trains running, basically air conditioned freight cars to carry
mm,
produce from the farm to the market.
mm,
But there is a huge scope for even export. But all
mm.
that will require more. I wouldn't use the word corporatization because that will be seen as an ugly word. But definitely you need more organized way where the farmers get good produce and the produces is packaged and sent to various destinations, various markets, including international ones.
Yeah.
But that will also need investment. So there has to be a public-private partnership,
Mm.
and where the farmers must not feel exploited. There was never a move in that also to take away the farmers' land. But the narrative was such, it was made out that farmers will lose their land and ultimately they lose their trade. I think
Yeah.
those will have to all be revisited. That is why able hand like Shivraj Singh Chauhan has been made the agriculture minister, because Shivraj Singh Chauhan is during his uh, four times tenure as the chief minister of Madhya Pradesh had brought several changes in the agriculture development of Madhya Pradesh, and therefore his experience, particularly in making Madhya Pradesh, today Madhya Pradesh produces the best quality rice,
Mm,
best quality wheat.
mm.
Some of the best atta that you get, they don't come from Punjab, they come from Madhya Pradesh. That
Okay.
quality wheat from Madhya Pradesh. So now Shivraj Singh Chauhan is there. I think right now there will be a lot of focus on another round of elections, which will be coming in October, November. Elections to assemblies in Maharashtra, Jharkhand, and Haryana. Now
Mm.
these elections are crucial to the stability of the government,
Yes.
as where BJP faces severe challenges. So Shivraj Singh Chauhan is in charge of Jharkhand, and Bhupendra Yadav, another minister, is in charge of Maharashtra. Then you have Dharmendra Pradhan in charge of Haryana. Now, why I'm mentioning these elections in this context is some of the ministries will again get busy with elections.
Yes.
That's the problem of these frequent assembly elections. That is why the talk of one nation, one poll. But at the same time, there are major top priorities concerning agriculture and farmers that will be attended to in a speedy manner.
Yeah. And moving on to a very strange sort of pattern, as you know, the famous Pune case where you have the Porsche accident that happened, Shekharji. Now, according to a report on NDTV, YSR Congress Party Rajya Sabha MP Bida Mastan Rao's daughter, Madhuri, was driving the BMW accompanied by her female friend and ran the car over Surya, a 24-year-old painter who was sleeping on the footpath in Chennai's Besant Nagar in a drunken state. While the man succumbed to his injuries soon after this, the woman got bail. Now, this new high-profile hit-and-run incident comes after the Porsche uh, accident in Pune that claimed the lives of two Madhya Pradesh techies, aged 24, and the accident occurred on May 19th in Pune. So, not only this, Shekharji, see another report, where the RJD leader Bhima Bharti's son, he gave out a contract to kill a businessman, Gokal Yaduka, in Purnia. The police say he had a mutton party after that. In a very shocking revelation, it has emerged that the RJD leader Bhima Bharti's son, Raja, has been accused of giving the contract for the murder of Gokal Yaduka, a businessman in Bihar's Purnia. Yaduka was killed on 2nd June this year. Raja, who is now absconding, had allegedly arranged for shooters to murder the businessman, and police are searching for him. Notably, Bhima Bharti recently contested the Lok Sabha elections on an RJD ticket. Pune police have shared the details of the murder of hardware businessman Gokal Yadaka. According to the police, Gopal Yadav and Raja's friend Sanjay had a land dispute, and Sanjay was looking for someone to shoot Gopal. When he failed to find the shooters, he informed Bhima Bharti's son Raja, who arranged the shooters to get Yaduka killed, and he paid them something like 5 lakhs. So now you see, it seems like politicians and us children are becoming immune to this kind of violence, and they are getting bail and being given the soft corner.
Indeed, Minaji, all the incidents that you recounted, in fact, are so shocking. And one wonders whether there is a separate law for all these rich kids of powerful politicians. And all these fancy cars, these cars are not meant for Indian roads.
Yes.
And B, these kids do not know how to handle them. And on the top of it all, all of them are under influence of alcohol.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a deadly combination, and poor people, sometimes pavement dwellers. You would have heard of the infamous BMW case in Delhi,
Yes.
where Admiral Nanda's grandson was involved,
Yes.
and then how attempts were made to influence the witness. And I mean, that was one classic, I would say, notorious case where the high and mighty can, try to jeopardize the judicial system. And finally, the lawyer was also punished, was trying to influence witnesses. So, I mean, that is one case, but then you are getting to hear all these kids who are all happen to be neo rich. I mean, not that, I mean, sudden new find and new money, they don't know, it goes to their head. And, like, for instance, you mentioned the Pune case. A boy just passed class 12 exam, and then his grandfather gives him the credit card and gifts him a car like that, a car that would cost 2 crore. And then that boy, teenage boy, blows up 48,000. Three people drinking to glory, and then they get into the car, and despite their driver insisting that he would drive them back home. And then subsequently the accounts that have come, how the driver was being forced, as being coerced into accepting that he was driving the car, and so many things have come out. And then some politicians coming to the rescue, and then how blood samples were
Mixed.
swapped.
Mm.
See, all this goes to show that there is not even an iota of remorse among the parents of these kids, that their children have done this kind of thing, and they don't feel that. I mean, all that they want is to get away and defend themselves because they have some people in high places. But those people in high places are coming to rescue them because these guys happen to be either builders or real estate lobbyists who have a lot of cash. I mean, this is a kind of thing that afflicts. And I'm telling you, it is happening in all major cities. You hear such stories in Hyderabad, Bangalore, even sometimes in Thiruvananthapuram, even places where you don't hear, you hear such cases. Of course,
Yes.
Delhi has been notorious for Delhi and its entire national capital. I mean, capital region, whether it is Noida or Gurgaon, or Ghaziabad, you
Mm.
frequently hear these cases where drunken driving. I think we need to look at the law, because in most cases the law just allows for bail, because these are considered as uh, these are not culpable homicide but not amounting to murder.
Yes.
And drunken driving has not been taken seriously. I think there has to be a vigorous drive to prevent drunken driving, and no matter who is caught,
Mm.
I mean, whether it's a Bollywood celebrity or some rich person's son or daughter, I mean, there has to be some kind of an action, an exemplary action.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's going to be unsafe on the
Mm.
roads. And it's not just a late night; it can happen anytime during the day
Yeah.
also. It just, I mean, these hit and run cases, actually these are run cases, because
Mm.
there's many of them leave the victim to die and they run away, and in the process of running away they hurt more people.
Yes.
I mean, you hear how they try to run, and then I think police will need to do something in all the major cities. Otherwise, and also see that the system is immune from corruption and influence in these cases.
Yes.
Because if this were to happen, then people will just get away with spending a day or a night in jail and then getting a bail and coming out.
Yes.
And many cases, Meenaji, we have seen the victims are invariably so poor. Some of them are bread earners for their family. I mean, you can see how tough it is for the family if they were to lose their kith and kin in this kind of incidents.
Yeah. So moving on to this case that has been, drawing the headlines for the past few days, we're talking about actor Darshan. Now, in a shocking turn of events, the manager who used to run the Bangalore farmhouse of Kannada actor Darshan, Tugudipa, reportedly died by suicide on the property grounds. Before this shocking incident, he left behind a handwritten suicide note, captured a video message, and his dead body was discovered near the farmhouse. Sridhar, the manager, reluctantly admitted in his suicide note that he was losing his life to the overwhelming sense of loneliness. In an accompanying video message, he stressed the same cause and further implored the authorities to refrain from drawing his friends and family into this circumstances. In the recovered note, Sridhar mentioned he alone was responsible for his death. Now, the police are launching an investigation to find out the connections between Renuka Swami's murder case and the actor's, manager's suicide. See, one thing I wanted to ask you, Shekharji, is that Congress party rules Karnataka, and they seem to be taking a lot of interest in this case, whereas other cases always go under the carpet. As in the SSR case, nobody is interested. Neither parties are interested. Here, you find that in the Darshan case, Congress, DK and all are taking a very, very proactive stand, and some actors also, like Upendra and some Kichu, are all, saying that, see, judiciary should be very tough and they should do the right thing. Now, is there any politics involved in this murder case? What do you think? What does your mind tell you?
No, I get a sense that there is definitely a political angle in the way the Karnataka government has
Yes,
been responding to this case. No, the case per se is equally shocking. I mean, from whatever accounts come, we are not getting into who is guilty, not guilty, but whatever police version of events is also very, very shocking, that somebody has to pay with his life for his silly posts on social media against an actress. I mean,
yes,
that is equally shocking. But I do see one thing, that with JDS BJP alliance happening, somehow the Congress government is very upset with the Vokaliga voters. So where the perpetrators belong to this community, I can see police acting very, very tough.
So who is
And
Vokalinga here?
because the victim in this case, Renuka Swami, I believe, is a Lingayat.
Okay.
And I'm told some of the Lingayat organizations are saying that why not action not being taken? Why there is so much of yeah? On the other hand, government seem to feed the narrative that the villain in this case is Darshan, and already, I mean, instead of these kind of investigations should proceed without any publicity. Rather, it should be on the basis of what is the evidence. Because the version so far is you have an actress whose close friend is Darshan. She complains to Darshan about
Obscene
uh,
messages coming, obscene messages coming to her on social media. Yeah, sorry, sir.
I think we got cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you were saying about Vokalinga and
So,
Ligayat.
yeah, probably there is, I mean, there seems to be some kind of anger towards the Okalinga voters following a
Mm,
JDS BJP alliance. I do not know how much
yes.
of this is playing
Mm,
in this case,
mm,
but one can see that
mm,
there are groups which are raging, I mean, on these lines. And Darshan is a very, very popular, challenging star, as he is called.
yes, yes.
But then
And
this
two
whole
movies are
story.
just going to be released in December. I think very soon.
So
Yeah.
therefore, those who have invested money in his films are worried as to what
Yes.
will be impact. Of course, some are saying justice has to be done first rather than promotion of their films. But
Yeah.
this is a very bizarre case. Bizarre case
Mm,
where an actress complains to her best friend, and he gets the guy. I mean, some guy comments on social media. He's traced, and from the fan association is employed to trace him. Then he's brought. He's beaten up and killed, and then his body thrown off. I mean, this is the version we have heard from the police. As to the complicity of the actor, I mean, this is a matter of investigation, which we
yes.
will rather leave for the police to ring. But one thing is clear, that social media has become a kind of a nuisance where, things are happening in a way and people are taking it seriously.
Mm,
I mean, there were ways of dealing with such things. I mean, celebrities always face this kind of harassment, somebody commenting on their private lives or things like that. But then the way about it is they themselves need counseling. Because if
yes.
this actress had taken proper counseling, she would have been advised to ignore such things. Because, I mean, these things can go on. And Minaji, I am also reminded of way back in early 50s. One of the Tamil comedian, N.S. Krishnan, and one more person, Bhagavathar. They were charged with murder of a person who was running an yellow magazine.
Mm.
N.S. Krishnan was a comedian
Yeah.
of yesteryears of Tamil cinema, and they were sentenced to life imprisonment because the
Right.
jury in London, this was pre-independence days, they found them guilty of killing the journalists.
Mm.
And because he used to write scurrilous way, I mean, write about their private lives,
Mm.
linking them with all kinds of people, and he used to blackmail them. And
Mm.
finally, he was killed one day. And these two actors, both of them were N.S. Krishnan, NSV Krishnan, and as well as Bhagavathar. I mean, they were leading stars of their time. And those were black and white cinema, and cinema had just come out of the silent era where the singing ability of the actor mattered more, and music scores made those films those days. And they were legends of their kind, but then they were caught in this kind of thing. So similarly, what I am seeing is social media is again a platform where not necessarily any journalist or any person who masquerades as a journalist indulging in yellow journalism, but we are seeing a lot of people commenting on something, issuing threats to. But most of the celebrities take it with a pinch of salt and leave it. But this is a case where things were escalated to a point where they had to do away with that person. I mean, whoever was guilty of that kind of thing. I mean, this only calls for what is the kind of society we are headed to now.
Yeah.
What is happening? Why are we taking this virtual world so seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
In
and
fact,
what do I mean, every film star worth his salt has a fan association, which sometimes,
yes.
finally, when he wants to make a political debut, that fan association becomes a political party or a
Yes.
political
Yes.
platform. But
Absolutely.
nevertheless, it is very shocking, and it only shows how people can think of murder, and murder is the ultimate crime, Minaji. And,
Yes.
uh, and these people who are supposed to be, you know, supposed to be good examples before the society, and they should be indulging in this kind of thing,
Mm.
is very, very deeply upsetting to us. And the fact that they have a huge fan following also, I mean, you can think of the kind of impact it will make.
Yes, absolutely. Because just yesterday I saw a video. A husband, either a husband or partner, was taking a video of a lady, driving the car, and she was, on a hill. So she, instead of pressing the accelerator, she pressed the reverse, and she fell off the cliff. And I don't know whether she died, but that guy was running. You could see him running in the video. What sort of things that they do to get attention? It's absolutely. And you see the car; it's a wreck. I just don't understand how, as you said, social media is going the other way.
Absolutely. I mean, I have seen people taking selfies before, on railway tracks, then getting killed.
Yes.
And some of them falling off
Yes.
rocks, some of them falling off
Yeah.
falls. And then also the other incident, Meenaji, since we are talking about how social media is inducing. Now, take for instance the incident that has been reported in most papers today in Thane. In a person murdered a woman. I mean, a guy, a probably 29-year-old guy, used a wrench to beat to death his
Oh
ex-girlfriend. And people were filming it, not stopping the
my
incident.
God! My God!
And I mean, it is there on all papers today. This happened in Thane.
Mm.
And only after he had finished with his anger, he was muttering, "Why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me?" And people were filming it. At least 10 people would have gone and stopped. Of course, he was threatening others with a wrench, but 10, 15 people can go and stop one person.
Yeah, overpower him. Yes.
But that did not happen. People were filming it. And only thing, that guy, after committing the crime, did not run away. That's how police arrived and they took him into custody. I
Could
mean,
be
there
the
are
effect of
numerous
some strong
instances of.
drugs.
So there are, Minaji, there are instances of relationship going sour, and then
Yeah.
people fall in and fall out of love, and then these are part of life, and this goes on. But
Yes.
then there are instances where the um, the estranged partner or estranged spouse gets into this kind of thing.
Yeah,
And invariably, the victim is a woman.
mm,
I mean, so you can see what is happening. And why
yeah,
is in the society responding to such cases happening and in a crowded street?
yeah,
I mean, can't people see what's happening? They just walk away, or they are busy videographing it. I mean,
yeah.
that's a part which is doesn't explain that how sadistic are we becoming as a society.
I think there should be a punishment for that also now. You should make a law for that as well.
Yeah, because as a bystander, if you are not coming to the assistance,
You are equally
and when
responsible.
police call for witnesses, they will run away also. I mean, when they come,
Yeah,
I mean, this is a kind of thing I think we need to look at ourselves as to what is happening. And unfortunately, Binaji, people go through school and colleges. They have not learned to handle difficult part of their life, which is handling human relationships. I mean,
absolutely.
of course, this is a problem all over the world ever
Yeah,
since God created man
yeah,
and woman.
yeah,
To be politically correct, I would say. But
yes,
then, but we don't learn to forget, to move on. I mean,
yeah,
you need professional counselors to tell people that,
yeah,
I mean, these are things that happen in one's life and how they
absolutely.
must move on. But it doesn't happen. And violence has become ingredient in all these kind of things. And I mean, there are innumerable cases. You saw how, and in which some murders are so horrible that the body is cut into pieces, kept in the
Yeah,
fridge, then it is disposed of. I mean, you can, and you must have heard, Minaji, the other incident where a Bangladesh member of parliament came to Kolkata
mm,
very recently, and he had a dispute with some financial dispute.
mm.
So his murder was organized in Kolkata. He belongs to Bangladesh.
Oh,
He probably
okay, okay.
frequently comes to Kolkata for medical treatment. So his business partner organized killers. They called a guy who was running a butchery shop in Mumbai, and he was employed to kill and cut the body into pieces and throw away in some pond. Kolkata
My
police and
God.
Dhaka police had to work together in this case.
Mm,
I mean, this is also just less than
yeah,
2 months old.
mm,
So we can
incredible.
see this kind of incidents happening, and where that, and then subsequently for the police to look for the weapons of offense and then to collect evidence. These all these cases, or take for instance the Shirapura murder case.
Mm,
Now they
mm.
say that
The
the samples
bones are
of the
missing.
bones
Yeah,
missing. I
missing.
mean, they are
CBI should be
missing or
questioned first.
made to be shown as missing. I do not know, but
Yeah,
one does it does raise question as to
yeah,
the purity of such investigations and whether extraneous influences are seeing to it that investigations run aground.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Shekharji. Very interesting conversation. Always, I mean, you bring out so many thoughts of yours that are very interesting for the viewers. So, good night. Thank you. Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you, Miraji. Thank you very much.